Hi everyone. In today's video, we're going to go over redacting, specifically how to redact sensitive information from your Gavel workflow output documents. So in this example, we have a redacted social security number where the underlying variable is covered by this black bar here. But that information, when it was entered, is still stored within our data manager for us to be able to use in the future for other workflows. So let's go ahead and create this together. We're going to say new workflow. We can give this a name, let's say redacting test, and we're going to say create. Once we do, we're going to be taken over directly to the Gavel editor where we can give this page a new name. So let's call this your information. And we're going to add a new question. Let's use a text question. That's going to be, let's just call this first name. And then let's give this a variable of first name. We can just quickly copy or duplicate this. We can say last name and then change this one to last name. And then we can make one more that's going to be social security number, just so we can kind of see what this looks like. So once we do, we can change this to a text or a number question, depending on how you want it formatted. You can make these required or not required simply by clicking on this button here. So let's go ahead and save this for now. And the next step would be to create our output documents within our Word document. So let's go ahead and open up a new Word document. So I'm going to create a new one like this, and we're going to use our document tagger from Gavel here to input these different variables that we've created into our output document. So let's go ahead and find our workflow from the list. So we can just search for redacting test. We can then see and interact with our variables that we created. We can even just insert all of our questions and variables like this in whichever format we'd like. So I'm going to just keep it as standard and say insert variable. So now the three questions we asked and the variables associated with them that we made have now been entered into our document. So let's go ahead and do this next step, which would be how to tell this document that we want this social security number to be redacted within this document. To do that, we're going to go over to the Gavel help guide on redacting, and we're just going to copy and paste this configuration or syntax where we want this to go. So quick tip for copy and pasting, if you have a Mac or are using this, you can say Command Control V, and then that's going to be unformatted text, and then that's going to match the surrounding text rather than the text here and the font there. So let's go ahead and take this and make it not bold. And then we're going to just change this variable name section here to SSN, which is the one that we are trying to have redacted. So we can now take off this N piece here and just leave this syntax that we copied pasted, but updated with the variable that we want to have redacted. So let's go ahead and save this and give it a name. So let's just call this redacting test. And then let's save this to our desktop, go ahead and save. And we're going to upload this to our output document section within Gavel. So let's go ahead and say choose file, find our redacting test, and say open. We can go into this and change our name of this particular document if we want to get rid of this underscore, for example. We can also make it to where we only have this generate as a PDF. So let's go over into our settings and do our last bit, which is to customize our messages. At the end, I just want it to say thank you. So let's go ahead and save this now and see how we get on. So let's go ahead and run it. And I'm just going to say client name and then give the social security number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's go ahead and continue. If you didn't want this to be shown on the end screen so that this information isn't displayed, then we can just go ahead and go to general and we can say skip final review page. So let's go ahead and save this now. And when we refresh this, we're going to be taken straight to the end screen where we can see our new name, we can see only our PDF, and then we can click into it and see that the social security number here has been redacted from our final output document. I'm going to show you just one cool trick that I was playing with as well, if you want to follow along, which is how to have, if you're going to, let's say, show or display this information towards the end or whatever, to just display this information for whatever reason. Within the workflow itself, you would use a similar configuration but change it just slightly. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. So we're going to create a new page. We're going to call this page redacted social security number. Let's add the question and show this in an instruction block. So we're going to take this similar configuration that we had here, but we're going to modify it a little bit to change the language that is showing. So essentially this is called Jinja, which is what we use in our output documents, but we want to use something called Mako, which is for within our templates here. So we're going to use a $sign, a curly bracket, and then we're going to just move in everything here, change our variable name in the middle to SSN, and then we're going to save this. And now when we run this particular workflow now, the same result at the end will be the case. So we'll still have the information redacted from the document, but I just wanted to show you what this looks like from the inside. So you can also make it redacted here as well, which is kind of fun. So a little trick for you. We can see, as I mentioned, that we would be able to continue and still see our redacted output document here, but just showing the differences between how we talk to the computer when we're in our output documents and how we talk to the computer when we're within our editor within here, where we're displaying something within the workflow, to show you those kinds of differences and similarities. So that's all for this video. I hope it was useful, and I'll see you in the next one.